The following program is brought to you in conjunction with Northern State University in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Good evening, I'm Brendan Wilson with your Boys State Evening News. Each daily newscast will be played for you at the evening meal, or you can find it online through the South Dakota Boys State Facebook page or on YouTube. Today, Boys State hosted Legionnaires from across the state as part of their annual Legion Day. We know that not every Boys Stater had the opportunity to speak with these gentlemen, so we took the time to ask some of them to introduce themselves.
Perizzo from Aberdeen. I served from 1966 to 1970, U.S. Navy.
Dwayne Riedlinger. I have 28 years of service, 4 years in the Navy and 24 in the Army, and I started in 1961.
I'm Jim Stone from Gary, and 2 years in the Army.
Russell Edwards, 10 years active duty, Army.
Charles Beck, Army, I served from 1963 to 65.
Ken Tunison, Army, 1969 to 1977.
Philip Pearson, 20 years in the National Guard.
Last night, the Nationalist and Federalist parties held their conventions. At the Nationalist Convention, it was revealed that Radin Tursa from Yankton was going to be the Nationalist candidate for governor. Of the 5 topics discussed at the Nationalist Convention, educational policy was the most heated debate.
Through this platform is increasing their pay. That's it. And we're not going to debate whether or not teachers should be paid more with good grades, because that's entirely bad. That's probably the worst philosophy you can present to a teacher at all.
Meanwhile, at the Federalist Convention, members rallied around governor candidate Andrew Flannery of Elk Point. The Feds organized their party platform based on improving infrastructure and education. Before the state elections, we offered each of the governor candidates the opportunity for a brief interview. The Federalist candidate Andrew Flannery was unable to meet with us at the time. Please head over to our Facebook page to hear from the Nationalist candidate Radin Tursa. Governor Dennis Dugard dropped by Boys State yesterday and attempted to convince students to stay in South Dakota after graduation. A few key points of his speech included the lack of state income tax, better employment rates, and being close to family. Following his speech, Governor Dugard held a brief question and answer session with the Boys Staters. He also answered a few questions for us.
What do you think about Boys State, and what impacts do you see from Boys State?
I think Boys State is a great opportunity for young men to be engaged in government through doing, not just by reading about civics in a book or reading about the way government works through their civics texts, but actually by engaging in it, assuming the role of a candidate, assuming the role of a political partisan, assuming the role of a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court or a county commissioner. By actually doing and living through that, it sinks in better and people understand the dynamics of it better. And Boys State is a perfect example of ways to be involved and learn about government at all levels.
The Boys State Citizen Forum took place this morning, and citizens from each of the cities decided laws for their counties. Topics that were voted on were energy and how they should tax it, educational policy and teacher salary, and how to spend money wisely for school supplies. The Boys State Congress was also in session this morning. The House is split into committees such as taxation, local government, education, agriculture and natural resources, and state affairs, discussing bills to pass into laws for the Boys State community. The 2 houses of Congress also elected their head officials. The primary debates for state elections occurred this morning, with candidates from each party making a final push for the public's vote. Candidates for each of the state-level positions answered questions from an open forum with opportunities for rebuttal. During the lunch period today, the new Boys State governor was announced. Congratulations to Andrew Flannery of the Federalist Party, the first ever governor from Elk Point, South Dakota. Here are a few things to look forward to as we move into the final day at Boys State. At 8:45, the final sessions for the House and Senate will be held at the Student Center. 11:30 will be the 10th General Assembly with the inauguration of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor of Boys State, as well as other state-level positions. All citizens must be in attendance, and it is formal dress for all elected officials. 1:15 marks the final Citizens Assembly with the presentation of special awards and closing remarks. The 2015 Boys State program will officially close the curtain at 2:30. Thank you for tuning in to the Boys State Evening News. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at SD Boys State. Also, be sure to use the hashtag SD Boys Day 2015. From Aberdeen, I'm Brendan Wilson. Good night.